Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3, and in this particular video, I want to talk about whether PhD scholarships actually matter for acceptance in PhD programs. So this was a question from Alejandro, and he asked whether it mattered, particularly for international students, if they had PhD scholarships to get into a particular PhD program. There's sort of two ways to think about this. And first of all, if you're watching this, Alejandro, and anybody that asks questions, I just have one sort of ask for you going forward. Just pay the favor forward, whatever you're doing today. Just do one thing nice for somebody, and that's it. That's really all I ask. If there's questions, then I'm just going to ask that from people that are watching these videos, and they ask me a question. If I answer it, just do one thing nice for somebody. You can write comments on what happened below in the YouTube video, but for the most part, just be a nice person. So, do PhD scholarships actually matter for acceptance in PhD programs? Well, if you're looking at it from the institution's perspective, it's definitely going to matter from the sort of administrators, because it's going to take some pressure, financial resources off of them when they bring in a PhD student. But at a lot of institutions, well, not a lot, but the institutions that you've heard about, often the financial considerations don't necessarily matter. They're kind of a minor concern because there's already so many people wanting to get into that particular program. These are definitely all the ones that you've heard about around the world, right? So like Harvard and places like that, right? So the reason is that most people are willing to get into that program and pay whatever it takes, right? So, and then as well, from the professor's point of view, the financial aspects of PhD scholarships is very small in terms of a concern for them. So particularly if I'm thinking about myself or somebody else that people that I do know, they're not really looking at the financial considerations for you. That's not the thing that motivates them going forward or thinking about whether you actually are a good candidate. However, the financial considerations is only a small part of the particular scholarship. What it also does is sends a signal, right? So what we are looking for, what professors look for when they bring on PhD students, is whether they're going to be a waste of time and resources for them. And if that's the case, then they don't necessarily want to bring in that particular PhD student. And then whether they're actually going to be a star in the field. So the signaling components of international and national scholarships are probably a lot more important than the actual financial considerations, because we want to make sure that you are actually going to do well in the field and that you're actually going to take the PhD seriously. It's far too often that people go into a PhD program and they don't necessarily understand what's going on. Even if they do have money or they're willing to pay for it all by themselves, particularly international students, there's lots of people that are willing to do that. However, they don't really understand the sort of consequences going forward, and they might not be in the field for the long run, right? It is a really tough, sort of difficult thing to do, and you got to know what it's all about, right? So really from the professor's point of view, if the international scholarship or the national scholarship is very, very prestigious, or it holds a lot of merit and it's well recognized, we all understand what it is, right? So if you get an NSF grant, for example, in the United States, if you get what's called a SHIRT grant in Canada, in various countries they have these different grants. Those are good signals that you're actually going to perform very well in the long run. Those scholarships are they're difficult to get, they're highly competitive, and they're well recognized. And so that's really what you want to look for in terms of the what the sort of professors are looking for. But if it's just kind of some random scholarship that nobody really understands, then yeah, it's not going to help you on that much. So what you might want to do on an application, if you're thinking about that, or you're asking somebody for, if you're asking a professor to go work at their lab or work at their institution, just sort of qualify how difficult it was to get that particular scholarship, right? And just put in that, if 1,000 people tried to get it and only one person got it, and that, that makes, that sort of compares, it sort of sets the tone of what you're going, or who you are going forward, and that you actually are credible as a person to bring on, right? So that's the key thing when you're thinking about PhD scholarships. It's not the financial aspects for the particular institutions. It's often just this uncertainty that that person's actually going to perform in the long run. And what you're looking for, what we look for, is the scholarships as a signal that you're actually going to perform in the long run and eventually become a star in the field, right? Whatever field that you're thinking of. So hopefully you like this video. Thanks again for asking that question. That was awesome, Alejandro. And please do go out and do one thing nice today, just for somebody else, just random. That's it. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.